Good day, good day, good day, everyone. Welcome to SIP with Rev Melissa. I am Rev Melissa, and SIP stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. So I hope all of you are doing well. I am a ordained interfaith minister. I'm a religious science practitioner, a spiritual life coach, and the spiritual director, senior minister at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living in New York. And all of that is my ministry of joy, where I support people in living life in joy, connected to their yes. yes. So if you need support, you're looking for a life coach, reach out to me. You could DM me on my social media, and I will set up some time to talk to you. There's my social media information right there for you. So welcome to SIP with Rev Melissa here on New Thought Media Network. So we started a new series yesterday. And before I get ahead of myself, let me just let you all know that today's show is pre-recorded. So I had to pre-record the show because I'm taking my aunt to the doctor. But please put in your hellos, good days, how you doing? Put in your comments on today's show, all the things, because I love it and I will review it when I get back and talk about it on Wednesday. So put in whatever comments you want to put in relevant to today's show. So we started a new series on Monday called Roots. And let me just recap where we are. So the definition that we're working with is the fundamental or essential part, the source or origin of a thing to establish deeply. So those are our definitions. Essential part and establish deeply. And the origins of the word roots is cause and origin. Okay? And then we talked about the pando tree, which I never heard of, and most of us had not heard of it, but it's basically one tree with 47,000 trunks. So it is a one tree forest in Utah. And all of these, it looks like individual trees, but in actuality, it's one root. All of these trees apparently that look individual, but in actuality, it's just one. It's just one. And so pando means I spread. It's a Latin word that means I spread. And I also recently found out, as I continue to dig into the pando tree, it's also known as the trembling giant. And Maria Shriver, remember Maria Shriver? She refers to it as I belong to you, you belong to me, we belong to each other. And that reminds me of that African philosophy of Ubuntu, right? Ubuntu, I am because you are. I am because you are interconnected. So this tree has a root that is so deep that it is the interconnecting source for at least 47,000 trees. And so if you want to look this up, it's in the Fish Lake National Forest in Utah. So I gave a lot more information yesterday. So check out the replay from yesterday. But we're going to continue a little bit more about roots as it relates to Pando and how it relates to us, right? Because we could take so much wisdom from nature. The way nature goes, so go we. Okay. We need to remember that. so go we. So just like those trees, those individual trees are connected through one root, so are we, because we are the individualization of the one source, the origin, the cause, right? We are the effect of cause. And cause, as we know, is the divine, is God, is creator, is life, is love, whatever you want to call it. We are the effect of that cause. And all those individualized trees that can be seen are the effect of one root, the pando tree. So I got really curious about this because, one of my words for 2022 that I am embodying is curiosity. So I got curious about finding out more about the pando tree and how it relates to how we show up in the world or how we can show up in the world, right? The pando tree is considered as one of 40 wonders of America. And there's even a stamp to commemorate it. Who knew? Who knew all of this? I had no idea, right? So as I was looking at all things pando now, I discovered that its long-term survival is uncertain. Its long-term survival is uncertain. And these are the reasons why. And as I share the reasons why, we're going to apply it to our lives. Okay? So they share four major factors that is playing a part in the uncertainty of the pando tree survival. The factors are drought, human development, grazing, and fire suppression. Drought, human development, grazing, and fire suppression. So you might be saying, Rev Mel, what that have to do with humans? What that got to do with my life, right? What are you talking about? Okay, just stay with me. Just stay with me. I'm going to bring it all together for you. So let's look at each factor. And as I said, we learn from nature. Or we can learn from nature. Nature is wise, right? Nature is very wise. And so the way in which nature goes, if there's uncertainty in the survival of nature, in nature, of these pando trees, then that can too apply to uncertainty of us as a human race. Now I don't want to scare y'all. I want to scare y'all or anything. We're putting this in the context of what we are rooted in. Okay? What we are rooted in. So, drought. Drought is one of the factors that is impacting the long-term survival of the pando tree. I'm looking over there because my cat is going crazy right now playing. So you might hear him running around. That's Davy having a ball. So drought, we think about drought, right? The lack of water, right? And we could apply that to our lives, right? When we're in a drought, right? When we're lacking being fluid, when we're lacking going with the flow, when we're lacking being flexible, when we want to be so rigid, right? And closed up where nothing can get in, right? No nutrients could get in, right? So how is a drought showing up in your life is a question that we could ask ourselves. How am I creating the conditions within my life for there to be a drought? Think about that. All right, so that's one. The second one, human development, right? Human development, in the case of the pando tree, has to do with probably cutting down trees, overdevelopment in certain areas where these trees are, right? In Utah, we see that everywhere, right? Trees, forest trees being cut back for development, right? So, how do we apply that to our lives? Human development. So, where in your lives are you resistant to growing? Where you may be feeling like you are stuck, that you're not allowing yourself to develop in a way that is flourishing and in alignment with the environment, your inner environment. Because we're not against development, right? We're not against development, but everything in its proper place at its proper time, right? So where in my life may I be developing in a way that's not congruent with my inner environment, if you will? Okay, so that's two. Human development, being stuck and being resistant to growth. All right. The third one, grazing. So in this forest, there's overgrazing being done by a certain type of deer, right? And so I think about grazing in our lives, right? Where may I be over consuming of something, right? Thinking about, what am I consuming? What am I grazing on? Am I grazing on the news all day long? Am I grazing on politics? Am I grazing on things that don't really serve me well anymore? What am I grazing on? Am I grazing on the past? Am I grazing on resentment? Am I grazing on anger? Or am I grazing on those things that sustain me? Right? So, at the root of it, what are you grazing on that is nutritious? That is nutritious for you, right? Within balance and harmony with your life. So, what are you grazing on? What are you consuming? And what is consuming you, right? Because these deer are consuming the trees. So, what is consuming you? What is consuming you? And then the last one, fire suppression. Fire suppression. So we know that, and I'm not going to go too deep with this because I'm not an expert in all these things, right? I'm just giving you a sip. And if it sparks your curiosity, go deeper with it, right? Go get a gulp of it. So fire suppression, we know that wildfires are necessary within a certain context, right? And so fire helps to clear out what needs to be cleared out in order for new growth to come in. And in this area, apparently, there's been a suppression of fires that are having an impact in the survival of the pando trees. So I started thinking about, okay, fire suppression, how would that relate to us in our lives? So I thought about it. And what comes to mind is, what are you repressing that is seeking to be ignited in your life? What are you repressing? What are you suppressing in your life that is seeking to be ignited? What is that divine spark that you won't light up? That you won't light up. It needs your attention. It needs your fire, right? It needs your fire to get it going. And for whatever reason, you are suppressing it. You are suppressing that which is seeking to be expressed through you. You are suppressing that which needs to grow through you. You are suppressing something that you are here to do. So, fire suppression. Are you suppressing your own fire, your own spark? It's time to ignite it. It's time to ignite it, to get to the root of who you are and let it go. Let it blaze in the world. Let that light that you are shine. Stop suppressing your light. Stop suppressing your light. So that's what I got for today, y'all. When we think about the root, the origin, the cause, are we in harmony with it? Sure, our life expression, or are we in the uncertainty of it all? Are we in the uncertainty? Are we in a drought? Are we lacking in our own human development? Are we grazing and consuming things that don't serve us? Or having things that don't serve us consume us? And are we suppressing our light? That fire, is it extinguished? It's time to light it up again. It's time to light it up again. So those are the 4 factors: drought, human development, grazing, and fire suppression. Let's get to the root. Let's get to the cause of any of those areas in your life that you need in order to blossom. All right, y'all. All right, so I'm loving all of this. I'm loving the pando tree. I'm loving how we can apply what is happening there to what's happening here. Yes, yes, we can. Yes, we can. So we're going to continue with root. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with the pando tree. I think I might be complete with the pando analogies with us and see what else wants to come through the root tomorrow. So please join me tomorrow. It's time now for some joy news. All right, y'all. So some quick joy news. Join me on Friday at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living, where I'm the spiritual director. We are having our in-person Friday evening service at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We meet once a month in person in Tappan, New York at Tappan Reformed Church. We use their sanctuary. Please go to the website, rocklandcsl.org, for more information. We would love to see you in person. After service, we're going to get together, go to a restaurant, and have a pre-Thanksgiving dinner and just fellowship with each other. So my topic on Friday is home, because we're in our November theme of home at Rockland CSL. And home is an acronym meaning healing opportunities manifest everywhere. Healing opportunities manifest everywhere. So please join me for that. We will also be live streaming on Facebook. So if you can't make it in person, you can still catch the live stream. And then on Sunday, Living Life in Joy, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Please join me for another episode. I will be sharing a sermon called Roots and Wings. So please join me for that. Living Life in Joy this Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on New Thought Media Network. All right, let's see what else do I want to share with you all. Oh, save the date for our next meditation with the moon. Our next meditation with the moon is December 7th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on New Thought Media Network right where you're watching me now. So please save the date for that. And I think that's it. I think that's it. So there you have it. Again, today's show is recorded. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your greetings. Thank you for being present with me, even though it's recorded. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I will be back live tomorrow, I promise. So until then, remember, peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, aren't we? Yes, we are connected to our yes. Peace.